You all are Thor, the god of thunder or lightning, or Lord Indra or Zeus. Yes, they all are the same. But what does it mean? You are Thor. But you guys don't possess any superpowers like them. Greek mythology is incomplete, and I have made a video regarding that in my previous sections. So you can check my old videos for that. Now, let me try to explain to you the connection here. That is our main goal. And why don't you all possess any superpowers? You must have watched this scene in the movie Thor. Even if you haven't, it's not hard to understand. The part where Odin, All Father, cast out his son Thor and took away his powers in the form of hammer because of his son's pride and ego. Odin then says, "Whosoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor," and throws the hammer on earth where he has cast out his son Thor. Thor lands on earth, and since he was about to become the king back home, he has the same attitude as that of a king on earth as well. He orders everyone like he used to order at Asgard. Bring me food, do this for me, etc. When Thor comes to know about his hammer, he goes there and where it landed and tries to pick it up, but fails in the same way many people on earth fail to pick it up who were already trying. Even Loki, Thor's brother, failed to pick up the hammer after reaching Earth. Although Loki became the king after Odin fell sick. Later, when Thor finally becomes humble and worthy of hammer, the hammer itself reaches Thor and he is able to hold and possess his lost powers. Now let's compare it with Bhagavad-Gita. But you need to use your creativity and remove all the duality in order to understand while comparing it with the movie. Now imagine there is just empty space, and then out of unmanifested form, meaning from nothingness, a shape is formed and manifestation starts. That one form is of the God who was before in his unmanifested form. Now he is feeling bored, there's nothing to do. So he wants to forget himself by losing all his powers in order to start a game. Because participating in the game makes sense only after forgetting everything. The game is to find his true identity and go back in his unmanifested form, which is the only reality. So he also writes a manual with which he can remember his true identity, but only in case he becomes worthy of the manual, he can understand the manual. Now the game needs many players since it doesn't make any sense to play with only one player. So that one manifested form takes the form of many players with different characters. Negative, positive, and finally zero, which is as humans. There are other variations as well. When one finally reaches zero level, moving from negative to positive, the fully manifested one single character comes in him and he becomes eligible to return to the unmanifested form. That unmanifested form itself has taken many forms and different characters. So everything you see around you which includes not only humans but starting from the single celled bacteria to the fully evolved human, is part of that one manifested form, God. It's hard to grab, but you have to pay attention and use your creativity. So, Odin is that one form as God, and he himself becomes Thor after forgetting his true identity. The hammer is Bhagavad-Gita, which can remind him of his true identity. You might have many doubts in your mind that there are many manuals in the game of life, but there is only one manual. There can't be more than one. And only a true eligible person will be able to understand that, because the other manuals that exist in the game of life are all incomplete but directional arrows pointing towards Bhagavad Gita, that complete and only manual. So there are no contradictions here. If you find contradiction, then you are not worthy. So you still have to go and continue your journey. So all other scriptures, including science, are incomplete manuals, but all are pointing towards that one complete manual, Bhagavad Gita. And since all the characters from single celled bacteria to different humans are you yourself, that is right. So you must understand each one of them to make life more complex. Now, Bhagavad Gita itself has many versions, and out of all those versions, you have to find that only one correct version. There is a possibility of another similar version, but I haven't found that yet, even after going through 25 plus sources. Mostly Bhagavad Gita is divided into ISKCON, Advait, Vedantis, example Acharya Prashant, and Osho kind of versions. Rest all are subdivisions, but none of them are correct. The game of life is more complex than it seems, and in the game of life, humans are creating their own games like the GTA. Humans are the last evolutionary stage out of all the creatures that exist. But humans have their levels too, and they might fall down or evolve depending upon their karma, which is possible to break with only Bhagavad Gita. So, karma can also be broken. I can relate very well with Thor here, since I too had the same attitude like him and considered everyone lower than me. And I used to order even my parents and sister. They also have given me this privilege naturally, and I was spoiled like that. I was a ruthless king, but I started developing mercy as well. I have lived different characters in my life, like you can imagine all the characters possible. Yes, I love variety and I never stick to one thing in my life. I used to get bored very easily after doing everything in the extreme. I never repeated one thing, but this is the Gita power that I have been in continuous loop of. At least I have found that one complete manual, since all others who have tried to comment on this manual from their own perceptions have done injustice to it by making it incomplete instead. So if you are thinking that why I am repeating the manual again and again, because after reaching the complete manual by only practice, I can become the manual itself. But I am doing two things at a time. And with that complete manual, I keep on exploring for other incomplete manuals. Incomplete manuals means only Bhagavad-Gita, because I already know that Bhagavad-Gita is the only complete knowledge, but it is the people's commentary that make it incomplete. But there is a possibility, as I already told you, that a manual can be complete, a second manual. Now you all must be wondering, if this guy is telling his own story, so what is there in for me? What is the relationship between you and me? Everything written here is for you as well, since it is not different what I have written for you. I am not different from you all. In fact, the real thing is that I am your that future version who can put you in the right direction. Since without Gita you are on your own and there is a 50% chance of getting lost and choosing the negative path. The negative path also ends up in Gita, but the journey will be of self destruction. My future is Swami Adgadanand Ji, who has already become zero, and therefore he was able to manifest this complete manual in the form of Yatharth Gita from his Guru. And moving on like this, our prime source is Lord Krishna, that complete one manifested form that I mentioned earlier as God. So pay attention. So that one manifested form, as I mentioned, Lord Krishna, before which is the last evolutionary stage of all humans. So Lord Krishna is the last evolutionary stage of all humans. And remember, when it comes to superpowers, no one can defeat Lord Krishna's life stories as depicted in Bhagavatam Puran. But pay special attention here, since Lord Krishna, while teaching Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, has not used any single of his powers. It is just a guru, teacher, and student conversation. It shows us that the superpowers have no relationship with pure knowledge, which is complete knowledge. So focus on the goal here. Your goal is to get education, complete knowledge. Please pay your full attention for just 1 minute. The Super Science University Bhagavad Gita can only fulfill any of your wishes, aka the real Santa Claus, and it will give you permanent happiness with your freedom in the end. The highest, most prime, most secret, and the only complete knowledge, which is the source of everything, yet all other sources combined together are not equal to the source itself. Please refer to yatharthgita.com on Spotify or the website, which is the only genuine, therefore complete source of knowledge. Please note, incomplete knowledge is dangerous, since without it you will always stay ignorant. So pay attention on this screenshot, and I will show you the screenshot of the before version. So this is how this knowledge was spread. So you are listening to the prime source itself. So thank you guys.